you so much for having us. My name is Ruben Quesada. I'm joined here with Saket Kulkarni, my co-founder. I'm really excited to tell you about Sabana. Soul-sucking, wasted time, blood, sweat, and tears. We've talked to over we talked to over 100 professionals, and they all say the same thing. Architects and engineers hate writing construction specifications. You probably don't know what these are, but for a building just like this, you not only need to do the drawings, but you also have to write the construction specifications. Here is one example. Thousands of pages that contain information about products and materials that go into your building. It includes warranties, any kind of information about installation and maintenance. These are extremely important because these are contractual documents. And if you have any discrepancies, it can actually lead to liability exposure. I worked as a project architect for nearly 10 years, and I can tell you this process is a complete mess. Inside of the architecture firms, you have different members downloading products from online, changing the different PDFs names, moving folders around so they can communicate changes to spec writers and technical leads. Then they grab all this information, transcribe it into technical language, which ends up being just Word files. Thousands of Word files where you put in all this information. It's unreliable. It's a lot of manual input, which is extremely slow, and it's prone to human error.
So we created Sabana, an AI-powered data management platform to help firms boost productivity, increase profits, and avoid costly change orders and potential liability. Let me show you how. We give our users complete autonomy over the products they use. All you have to do is copy and paste the link. From there, Sabana's AI automatically generates a listing, downloads all associated documentation, and outputs all relevant parameters, making it easy to compare between products. Additionally, you can add custom notes to each product, making it simple to track preferences and key details. As your design evolves, you can collaborate throughout the entire process. And once a product has been approved and assigned to its respective specification section, it can be exported and a construction specification can be generated. When we look at our competitors, they either target submarkets or specific phases of the project. However, they do not work for every design team member, and they don't allow for full customization or automation. Sabana stands apart because we work throughout the entire process. Any design team member can go through and personalize your own firm's database, use automation features, or upload any product online. Our vision is to become the centralized building product layer for design teams. When construction begins, contractors and design teams have to work over thousands of construction documents. Using AI and the product information we gathered on earlier, we can help automate this process, cutting down review time from hours to minutes. Additionally, manufacturers consider construction specifications as black boxes. They don't know when a product is first seen, considerations used to decide on a product, or how products are actually viewed. While maintaining privacy and data security, we can go through and provide valuable information to improve their data analytics and boost their profits.
We're going to start by targeting small to medium-sized architecture firms. They make up around 93% of the current market. On top of that, we'll be able to fine-tune our model, and we're talking directly with decision makers. Ultimately, our goal is to attract larger firms, which make up around 60% of total buildings. Our current market size is around $9.6 billion. With taking every single architect engineer in the country, multiplying it by an average subscription of $1,600, that gets us around $1.2 billion. 5% of that is what we think we can gather in the next 5 years. Ultimately, our goal is to attract suppliers and manufacturers. Their TAM is much bigger at around $146 billion. We're currently looking at a pricing strategy divided by firm size to foster collaboration. We've worked with one of our beta testers closely, and with a pro subscription of only 4 seats, we could have potentially saved her firm around $10,000 and around 25% of their time back.
Our firm currently consists of us two plus one additional full-stack engineer, Alex. Over the past 9 months, we've conducted over 100 customer discovery interviews, and through the Techstars Accelerator, we created our first MVP. We plan to raise in the coming months. In the last 6 months, we have gone through and talked to 6 different firms who are currently beta testing the product, and they have been actively using the product every single day and fully want to join the full release. We have 22 more firms on the wait list. Thank you so much for your time. Oops.
Now it's
Resin?
Large construction.
Resin?
Oh,
And then
I'm sorry.
Afshan. the large construction companies also be potential buyers or subscribers?
Ultimately, at the beginning, we're only looking at the design teams, which is the pre-construction phase. There is potential of onboarding project owners, being large real estate companies, as well as contractors to get that information after the project goes out for bid.
And how about competition? Are there similar tools out there?
Yes. So, do you want to explain a little bit more about competition?
Yeah, absolutely. So our main competition comes from legacy software providers and a couple new startups. The biggest differentiation factor between us and them is we use AI to actually automate this process. Right now, if you look at any of these companies, the process is very manual. You go through, you find a product online, you take information, you put it in a document, you save the document on the cloud. It's nice to have cloud information. However, manually transcribing the information is the real pain point for most of our customers. We use AI to completely automate this entire process and make it simple for people to use it.
Thank you.
Ashram, go ahead.
Thank you. Is there a, if you show that chart with the steps, what part are you starting with first?
We're only starting with the input of the products and the materials as firms are creating their own database. Ultimately, that information will come in handy for, we talked about construction specifications specifically, but that's not just our plan. We know that all these other aspects of construction rely on, good information data. Hey, Zach.
So, how's it going? So you mentioned in the example of the ROI, I think it was $10,000 and 25% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the $10,000 come from? You're not accounting for time to get to that number, right?
I'm glad that you asked, so I'm just going to explain it here a little bit more in detail. So we worked with one of our beta testers. There's one example from last February where they were working. They had 4 different team members. Now, within architecture engineering firms, those roles can drastically change. They can be very different. A spec writer is probably the one that uses most heavily the software. However, project architects, junior designers also do it as well. We think that if, in this specific case, the spec writer worked 60 hours because they were completely extremely tired from all the hours they have to work, that ultimately translated to economic value of around $7,000. 45% time saved is the estimate that we talked with our beta tester, and she confirmed that that's roughly about right for somebody that does that role. But ultimately, for a team of 4, that equated to $10,626. So time saved, and then you could potentially use that to either hire somebody else or pursue other work. Yeah, of course.
So you're working in material design input, right? So what materials do you cover? How do you collect the data on all the products? And how do you keep up with all the new products coming out?
Yeah, absolutely. So the materials that we'd be covering are for commercial construction purposes. So that applies to basically everything. So if we take an example with this room, you can look at the windows, the lighting features, everything around us needs to be spec'd from architectural design point, and from there, contractors know what to buy. The way we do this is we have our own AI agent that will go to the website, navigate through it, download all associated documentation, and make sure that we have the most up-to-date and correct numbers about the product itself.
Who chooses that product? Who identifies?
Great question. At the moment, we currently have the architects go through and upload products that they would want. So we allow them to upload previous projects that they've used, so we know the products they already have, and in the future they can continue to upload. One thing we're working towards is we're going to try and work with manufacturers to try and have them upload their information as well, so that we can continuously get more products and allow them to just search a Sabana database instead of searching the web. For right now, they go through and upload a link, and we're able to scrape that information. Now, every single time that product is used inside of a project, we continuously rescrape it to make sure that through the lifecycle of the product doesn't get discontinued, or versions don't become unavailable, and we make sure that information is made very clear. We've noticed that with a lot of our customers, issues come up where they spec a product that no longer exists, and that means they have to do massive change orders, which leads to millions of dollars of losses. And just that little tool makes sure that doesn't happen.
So have you built am I hearing that you built a more specialized AI model for this application? Because it's typically, for engineering, it's not as refined.
Yeah, so no, we didn't build our own specialized AI model, but we did build an API that is custom built to properly scrape out the entire website and find documentation specifically tailored for architectural purposes. So the model itself is not custom built or fine-tuned yet. That's going to happen in the future. However, right now, the way we navigate a website and get the information has been custom built.
All right, we are done. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, guys.
Thank you.